Hello, everybody. Jennifer Robin. This is Red Hoop Talk, and we're here with, I want to say, like world renowned artist Monica Zavala. Now, Monica, I met you in the wild, working working powwow. So
The wild, wild.
when I looked into you, you're all educated with your speaking and artist chats and all this stuff. So are you going to give us like your customer service voice today? You know, when you're trying to be polite, professional, or can we have the feral hand artist that you are?
I believe that I keep it real no matter who I'm talking to. So you get
Good, because
what
I liked
I
what I
give.
saw.
You get what I give, regardless of who you are.
That helps because that's why I love doing this podcast so much, is because when I do FM radio, FCC, and like I don't want to scare the people that donate to the nonprofit radio. So I have to be cool. But here on Red Hoop Talk, I can cuss, I can get grumpy.
And I
It
love
is
that.
it is real. So I have your Instagram pulled up.
Eee.
It's a lot.
I'm all over the place. Yes, I know.
It's a lot. And then I just got hyper focused on the Deftones shirt you were wearing because it made me love you more. Like you were doing something and it had like the white pony Deftones, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh. So I don't know where to start. So why art?
It's just something I've always been drawn to since I was little. Ever since I wasn't good in school. I sucked at school. What I knew how to do was draw, illustrate, and I would do like fan art and everything. But then, like as I got older, like I got really in tune with culture, my culture to be exact, and I did a lot of stuff on my Mexican side. I did a lot of stuff on my native side, and like it just kept progressively getting better and better, and I caught more opportunities, and and I just said yes to everything.
Mm.
I said yes to this podcast.
Well, that was we'll see how that goes. That could be one of your best decisions ever, or like a no, that chick was weird. So you say you sucked at school, but
Yeah.
you studied art in college and
Hmm.
have like all these fancy degrees.
Well, I was a straight F student most of my high school and middle school, but college is different. You pick and choose what you want to do.
It is.
You kind of just like wing it most for the most part. Um, I would say that everything that I learned art wise in college could have been done through YouTube University. So
Well, do you regret, like, do you recommend college to any aspiring artists?
definitely only for in my case, it was very beneficial because I got to network within
Mm.
the education system. Um, Especially when you're so like in a focus group, like being native, and you're with native peers at a college that is not meant to house anything other than, you know, our school that I went to was 50% Hispanic, Latinx. We had a very small population of natives, but that small population was so concentrated, and everybody knew somebody, and so just networking was a great part of my education journey, and I got to do a lot of opportunities just being within that environment. So I mean, it's beneficial for many reasons. My reasons might not be the same for anybody else's reasons. Some people might like the education aspect, but for me, I wasn't really good in school. Um, but I made it work.
Well, I'm somebody that's not using their degree. You
And
know what
that's
I mean?
okay.
Like, I got a biology degree and I'm sitting here talking to you in a Christmas sweater. So, um, but no, that's why I wanted to ask honestly, because it feels like, and this is just a feeling,
Mhm.
that we're not taken seriously as Indigenous people until we reach their plateau of, oh, well, she's got a Master of Fine Arts. We can list her indigeneity's relevant now. Or you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. I feel like if I didn't go to school and I still had like people that I was networking with, I think I would have been in the same boat. As far as how my career is going, and because I'm still rising. Like I'm not saying like I'm up there among the greats. I'm still learning. I'm still learning, but I'm learning from people that I've networked with. So it's
and
it's
there
not
is
plateaued.
something about the human aspect. Like, I work powwow, but I meet so many cool people. And to me, I call it pre production powwow, like, because being stuck with you and it being kind of slow, we talked and laughed for like hours straight.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So it's medicinal, and getting to know you made your art something more special. And that's why I think I asked you to do the podcast, because once people fall in love with you, what you bring to the table, you're not just a flat image on Instagram anymore. They're like, that girl laughs too much or whatever. Like,
I know.
I'm gonna
I
drop out of
think
college.
I
So
have a very distinct RBF, like resting bitch face, and people think I'm mean and everything, and I look kind of hard. I'm masculine presenting, but
I
I'm a
poked that
soft.
bear. I poked that bear.
I'm a softie though.
But you can't see your art and then look it directly at you and be like, "Oh yeah, she's hard." Like, so much grace and elegance
And
and
it's funny.
softness comes out in that art. So once I saw what you did, I was like, Psh, I'm gonna mess with this bitch for a minute.
And it's funny because people come up to me and they see me painting live when I'm painting live at gatherings, I'm painting live at powwows, and they look at all the paintings that I have on display. Because the day that you saw me, I just had a little table with like a couple prints and stuff. But usually my setup, I have like my original setup. But people look and they see all the paintings, they see me painting live, and then they still ask the question, "Did you paint these?" And I'm just like, "Yes, yes, I did."
But that's what I love about being you, being so you. You're authentic in the way you live, the way you walk, and you're authentic in your art. You're not trying to be a something in either aspect. So I think that's why you're continuously rising and learning, because I didn't feel like I'm an artist ego and I was in a random Southern California art display. Like, you know what I mean? There just wasn't
Yeah,
the and the way, I don't know, the way you present, it didn't feel like you were trying to some people will over hide with the tattoos and the bandana and like the don't hug me or look at me look. I didn't get that from you. I just
good.
got a, "Hey, I'm at a powwow in a sweatshirt and my hair's tied up." I mean, I really didn't get the
We were
yeah.
freezing that night, so I might have been covered up with my hoodie and everything, but no, I get what you mean.
So I dig it. Now, when you were little, did something inspire the art? Like, did you see a cartoon or a comic strip, or was it just already in your blood, like, I'm going to draw this,
I feel
everything?
like I feel like it was already in my blood. Like I
Okay.
would like watch my mom be on the phone and she'd be gossiping and everything, and she'd be doodling on like the calendar that was big enough for the whole desk, and she would just draw these little like random characters. And I think she kind of like, and she says that she's not an artist and that she doesn't draw or anything, but I always remember her drawing those little characters, and she's all like, "That's nothing," and I'm like, "That's something." Like probably it was probably her that sparked something, because I was watching her, at the age of like, as far as I can remember, like I don't know, my brain span goes back to like 4. I don't know. But
Thank
like
goodness we can't remember all the childhood trauma.
no, there's gaps missing.
That's
but
blessed.
but yeah, I remember always wanting to draw. I would see the VHS covers like for the Disney movies, and they come in a little like package, and I would just try to recreate like Pinocchio or one of the princesses that were on the thing. And then as I got older, I tried to start making my own characters, and I would make like little storybooks. Because when you're in like third grade, they like try to make you write and learn how to write like little mini books, stories or whatever. And then I started doing it on my own, started making my own characters, and I just kept always drawing and drawing. And I would always get those little art cases that the markers already dried out by the time you even open it. Like that was my shit. Like every year in Christmas, I would always be gifted one of those. And then as I got older,
While you
it was so.
scrape the colors, I'm just hearing the sound of
Oh man,
scraping
it's
a
like
raw
nails.
marker, or you need like a third of an inch more red, and it's just and you lick it and dip it, and it's like,
Hmm.
sorry, I had a flashback.
As you get older, you get the same crappy quality, but it's in a wood case.
And cost
But
$30.
it costs, yeah, definitely. And that back then, I'm not gonna say my age, but back then that was a lot.
Now, are any of your earlier pieces on your like Instagram?
um, I if you go far back, you can find a lot of my like because I used to do a lot of like LA like themed art shows, and
Ooh,
that's what I would like basically pay some of my bills with. It will be like a theme of like Beetlejuice or Nightmare Before Christmas, and artists would have to create at least one new piece to display and sell prints and whatever. And it would just be a themed art show, and they would have bands and stuff. And these shows are all over LA, Pomona, Anaheim, anywhere I can find one. There was like a group of us artists that would like basically follow the art show
circuit.
yeah, circuit. So we would do this and we would create new pieces. So you'll see a lot of like old fan art on my Instagram if you go far back enough. Some pretty cool pieces. Yeah, I think I did some cool stuff back then. But yeah, that paid the bills though.
But
Definitely.
storytelling through art is my dad is an amazing artist, and your art going from, I guess, fan art and Jack Skellington to the realism you
Mhm.
present, it's you just kind of jumped styles, and realism is hard. Like
It,
it's
it, it
I stopped art because I couldn't I was just felt like I was wasting canvases in my art gummy racers. Like I just it's realism is so frustrating.
So while I was doing the fan art stuff, that paid the bills. I love doing illustration, and a lot of my illustration was realism. I did portraits. I did a lot of charcoal work, but that was just stuff that I did for myself. So as I was doing the fun stuff that everybody likes to like, go to these shows for, I was doing. It was. I wouldn't say it was like my practice because it was just stuff I love to do. It was like my therapy. So I
Mm.
was doing fine art, realism portraits. I was doing portraits of like celebrities like I Love Lucy, um, Lucy Ricardo. I was doing, the 27 Club, Kurt Cobain, Janis Joplin. Like you could probably see those on my Instagram as well. Um, if you go far back enough, and it was just like me, just getting lost, and that's what I do now. Like with my fine art paintings, because I when I went to school, they make you do painting, and I love painting, but I didn't have um the desire to always like set up my canvas, set up my, the stuff. The boring stuff is the prep work of doing that, and I still don't like it now. But when I'm actually like sitting there with my canvas ready to paint, like I could get lost for hours, and I do. I go live on TikTok sometimes, and I'm on there for like 2 3 hours at one sitting, and
Dang.
you know, people are coming in for like maybe like 30 seconds. They'll say, "Oh, that looks nice," and then they'll dip, and then I'm like going live for nobody, but I'm still going live, and I use the recording, so it works out. But like people can see how long like my paintings take because I usually go live during like my whole process, unless
That's
it's yeah.
well, and art is vulnerable. Again, you messed up, it doesn't look the way you want. And so going live, I don't know, that's scary to me,
Yeah,
right?
you make a mistake, you just paint over it.
I can't even type with somebody staring at me. I forget how to spell my name, right? Let alone a bunch of eyes on the internet staring at you.
Oh, I have. And when I'm live in public painting, I get the occasional person that's a little too close to me, where I can smell
Be
what they
me.
ate for lunch. But like I don't mind it. I love when people are like watching me and they compliment or they want to talk about like, oh, this reminds me of this, or oh, this is what I think about this, or that looks like shit. I'm like, give it a couple more hours, it'll look good, it'll look better. But like,
Well,
yeah,
that's the thing, right? When you present something to the world, it's a finished product, it's what you want or close enough,
yeah,
right? So while you're doing things and something looks weird or not right, you're getting these I don't know.
yeah.
I'm too insecure to be an artist, or
And
maybe
you know
that's
what? I
why
can
I
look
am.
back at some of my paintings and be like, that finger looks weird because my subject is mostly hands. You just like look at it, I was like, yeah, that I could have done like something different with that. But you know what? That painting was say it's that painting happened in 2002 or 2022, and now we're going to be in 2025. That's just showing the progress. So I'm just going to leave it as it is.
Well, we joked in person, um, why hands? And we made a joke, haha, because faces are hard. But you did this. Charcoal's not easy to work with. It's flirp and messy, and it's kind of a permanent ordeal. You can't really just re-raise that, and it's all over, and your hand touches the thing, and where it's a nightmare.
Smudge. Yeah.
It's a nightmare. So now that I know you're capable of portraits, let's talk about why hands.
I chose hands mainly because people say it's always hard. Um, People say that people hide hands in their paintings. They don't want to show them. They put them behind the pockets. They put them behind the back. It's one of the hardest things to do, and I took on that challenge. But there's another reason why I do hands is because a lot of the subjects that I paint are the subjects that is within the culture that multiple people do. So multiple people are able to see themselves in my paintings as opposed to one person when I do a portrait, and that's like, that's that person. But if I do hands holding a gourd, and we have tons of bird singers down here in Southern California, multiple people are going to see themselves, singing with their gourd, or if someone's braiding hair, someone's going to see themselves braiding their mother's hair or braiding their daughter's hair, or, there's just,
Being braided.
there's, yeah. So there's like relatable subjects that people can relate to and see themselves. Um, because if you're just painting someone's face, they see it. That's cool. Doesn't look like anybody I know. But this I
Or
can
you
reach out.
start subconsciously comparing yourself to that
Yeah.
image. How do I relate, if at all?
Hmm.
Because there's so much.
Yeah, and like people tell me all the time, "Oh, I just finished a painting the other day. It's of my grandmother's hands, and she's making tortillas." And so many people are saying, "Oh, this reminds me of my grandmother. This reminds me of my grandma." And that's why I do what I do with the hands, is because it's not just my grandma that I'm painting. I'm painting a lot of grandmas who do the same thing.
Well, the powwow dancer one, there's like no hands or no head, but I'm reflecting on so many bright colored dancers I've seen over the decades.
Yeah.
You know,
So
um, It kind of takes you everywhere instead of a specific somewhere in some ways.
Yeah. So like uh, like that regalia that you just showed me, a lot of people recognize that regalia. Um, the people who made the regalia recognize her own regalia. The family of the person who's wearing the regalia recognizes the
That's
regalia.
awesome.
And it's cool. Like people recognize, but also people who don't know who exactly who this person is, has never seen that regalia. They're like, oh, I still see like a young me dancing when I used to dance, or if they don't dance anymore, like, oh, it just brings me back memories and stuff. And it's cool to hear those stories. Like people tell me the stories of why this reminds me of them, or why this reminds them of somebody. So it's just cool to like hear all this feedback and in real time. So
Do some people just get it completely wrong? Or
yes. I've had people who don't know anything about the culture, and they give me their interpretation. And I have one with clapper sticks, and they were like, "Oh, is this like sing? Is this the rain dance?" And I'm like, "Nah, bruh, nah." um, I've people, and it's cool. It's cool to hear like how people translate my paintings, whether they know the culture or not. But like sometimes they can be a little ignorant. Um,
now, how do you deal with that ignorance? Because I know when I work powwow, my stuff is really specific native, especially with the ribbon wear and things like that. So when I go to powwow, nothing is sacred, nothing, it's kind of just
yeah.
available. I need to make my money.
hmm
Do
So
How does it feel though? Like, do you want it to how do you feel now that somebody's grandma's hands making a tortilla is now hanging in some Spanish inspired new age kitchen?
um, I mean, people are gonna interpret things how they want to, but the way I approach people when they don't know what my paintings are about is I just have to educate them. At
But are
the
you nice about it? Or are you like, sit down?
It depends how they approach me. I give the same energy they give to me. So if they're coming at me kind of like sideways, I'm gonna come back at you sideways. But if you're coming at me from a respectable level and you don't really know, but you want to know, then I'm gonna come at you with some education in a
So let's
respectful manner.
educate some people. Because again, this is going to live in podcast form to be hunted through and listened to by who knows where and what. What is the sideways incorrect way for you personally to be approached? I know what this mean, is it that kind of air, or what is it that gives you the ick? Because I get the ick, right? I get the
Yeah.
like, just leave my booth. I don't even have the words to tell you why you're wrong right now. And then I'm triggered and I want to fight somebody at a powwow. That's stupid. So yes, let's make better allies right now.
hmm
What's the wrong way?
The wrong way is when you try to educate me on my own shit. You're like, I've had a guy who came up to me and he was like telling me that he's a photographer and that he grew up with this tribe. He's a white guy, and he was talking about the Kachinas,
Mm.
and I said Kachina doll. And he was so quick to correct me. So Kachina means doll, and I was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm like, that's not like I'm Southern California native. Like I know that's like um Arizona, New Mexico kind of, territory. I don't know everything about everything that I don't know. I don't have the encyclopedia of being native across all of Turtle Island. I only know what I know. I don't even know everything of my own like tribes and stuff. We're all still learning, but when people try to like educate me and think that they're right and they're not part of the culture, it kind of makes me mad. Just because you read a textbook that is written by, it's very colonial, like don't come at me like that. Don't come at me sideways like that. I will quickly put you in your place.
Well, and sometimes you have to
Yeah, you do.
because they read a book, they watch, I work within the MMIW realm, and a lot of people like to tell me about Alaska Daily, and now they know because they watched what's her name actress do a one season on the internet on Netflix or whatever, and now they know, now they get it. And I twitch a little bit because there's these assumptions made by the little bits of who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish somebody would have stepped wrong into your little booth when I was there because that would have been fun. Like, that's
I
the
mean,
stuff.
everything that you see in media is only like a small portion of what Native America looks like. Like it's mostly like the Plains Indian kind of like thing that we see on media and TV and shows and everything. And I went to Hawaii not too long ago, and I was at Foodland and I was getting some snacks to bring back home, and the ladies all, oh, because I had my you know, probably a native shirt on, and I had beaded earrings and everything. She's like, "Oh, are you Indian from America and or the States or whatever?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." And then she did the whole like, the mouth over the hand and I was like, "Oh no, that's very media. You watch that on the TVs and stuff." And she's like, "Yeah, I see it on TV." And I was like, well, we're a lot diverse than that. I didn't get mad at her because she didn't know. She was like very clueless. But like I said, like that, I was able to educate. I was like, that's just what you see on TV. That's just a small percentage of, what media portrays, and that because she only watched, you know, what
Yeah,
she's seen on.
Monica, where's your headdress?
You know what? It's at the cleaners.
But you're right. There's like almost 600 nations on Turtle Island. Like, I, I'm a sizable chunk of Cherokee, but I was raised super Choctaw, so I can't like absorb both and speak like a toddler in two different native languages. Like, it's a lot.
Yeah,
It's a lot. But okay,
definitely.
so we have a comment section. Now, one of our listeners, I don't know, I don't want to say her name because I can't read. I'm bad with like blended internet names, but she says charcoal is a fun medium and hands are a mystery. So I want to use that as a segue into the are you inspired for that one moment? Like, we have ASL, entire levels of communication are done with hands,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what inspires you and why snapshot the finger where it is? Like, why?
Uh, well, hands are very expressive. Like you said, we use it for ASL. We use them to, we have talents that we use our hands with. We take care of our kids. We take care of our families with our hands. We do everything basically with your hands, and it's just, and it's very expressive. You can make a hand gesture like when you're doing interpretive dance, you can have a movement that's very feminine, you can have a movement that's very masculine, and you can tell by the hands, like the age, the how Indian rich are you with how much turquoise you have on your fingers. So it's just, you're telling stories through hands, and you can tell a lot. You can tell someone's lived a hard life if they have scars on their hands. You can tell someone is, better, more well off than others because they have a handful of turquoise. It's just, there's
Or
so
even how the
much.
hands are groomed says a lot.
Yeah. There's people who have permanent grease stains in their nails because they work on motors and stuff. It's, there's scarring from working in a kitchen and you burned yourself. Um, there's just so much that you can characterize in hands, and that all tells a story.
But do you walk around I know a lot of people just walk around staring at boobs. Do you walk around just staring at hands?
I don't have a hand fetish, if that's what you're getting at. Um,
I was trying to
uh,
tap dance around like
I like looking at what interesting things people are doing,
mm. So it's more of the
and
action than it is the
mhm,
the hand.
it is more the action because people are holding like a hoop dancer's holding hoops, which I'm gonna be doing one of soon. Um, people are cooking and people are kneading dough and people are holding the eagle staff at the grand entry of a powwow. People are bird dancing, so their hands have to be in a certain motion. These things, people don't zoom in on these things like I feel like it should be appreciated. And so I do that.
Well, it is appreciated. Now, because part of this program is hoping to educate, I feel like every time I do this program, it should save me like 5 dumbass questions in the future. Um, that's my goal. Does it work? I don't know. But in do you do I know a lot of artists will do a description or a story like on the back of a print and things
Mhm.
like that. Do you make sure that anybody that purchases one of your prints or whatever like understands, or are you just like whatever, do your interpretation, move on? Because you put a lot of beautiful effort and awesome spiritual stuff. There's just so much that you put in.
Mhm.
Do you need that assurance that they get it when they leave with the purchase?
So, on my website, I do have a detailed description on what I paint and why I
Okay.
paint it. So each painting has their own description. When they buy it in person, most times it's things that they are already aware of.
Okay.
They're like, "Oh, I already know." But if the case that they don't, they usually ask me. I haven't had a person who was just like, "I don't understand what any of this is." Like, not
Not
yet,
yet.
not yet. Oh no, we'll see. I'm doing a market Saturday that is not very native focused, but I'm gonna give it a go and see how many people want to know the background stories of whatever they want to know. And I always tell people if you have any questions, or if there's like they all have a story, they're all real people that I've come across. They all have meaning and stories to them. So if you have any questions, just let me know. I'll explain it to you. But for the most part, people see something and they can relate to it, or they see like a cousin, a friend inside that painting, and they're like, "Oh, this is what my friend does. I'm gonna get this for him." So,
Now, I want to talk your website because when I met you a few months ago, it was in progress.
hmm
And today might be the last day to get stuff by the holidays. So, talk us through the magic of your website because I'm going to scroll through, but I want people to kind of see what to expect there and really celebrate the heart of Monica Zavala.
so yeah, when you open up the website, you'll see a little background story of me, where I come from, what my tribes are, and I don't even think I even mentioned what tribes I am, but I am Tongva and Acjachemen. I'm Tongva and Acjachemen, Los Angeles based, Channel Islands, Orange County. That's all, my relatives right there. That's where the spirit of me is. Um, but you scroll down and you have a couple options to click on. You can click on the artworks, and that's where you will learn the descriptions of each artwork that I've done so far, except for the one I just recently finished. I have to put that on there. And
Mhm.
then if you go to the print section, that's where you can buy prints, stickers, and there's an option for postcards, but I haven't put those on there yet. But and then you can
Now,
also contact me through that website as well if you have any inquiries, or if there's a print size that you don't have and you want to get a custom size print like you saw. um, where you saw the people holding the big print. Yeah, people get custom sized prints from me, and I go to a local native owned print business. Shout out to Tribal Print Source. And they print up my prints for me, and I pick it up and I ship it out to you.
No, you need to raise your price like $30. Like raise it $5. These are amazing. And I think I think with your pedigree and your skill level and all that good stuff, I would even say 35. Basically, you guys need to go to the website now before I convince her to raise her prices in the new year. On the real. You're worth more, is my point. Okay, we are going to go to a quick segment real quick. So, Chihululi, I love y'all so hard. We'll be back.
The 10th Annual Repatriation Conference from February 25th through 27th, 2025, in Marksville, Louisiana, will provide expert hands-on training on domestic and international repatriation. Hosted by the Association on American Indian Affairs and the Tunica Biloxi Tribe, registration is free for Native Nations employees, with early bird registration open until December 16th. Purchase a Native designed shirt to show your support for repatriation. Sponsorships, vendor, and exhibitor spaces are still available. Visit indian-affairs.org for more information.
Okay, you crazy cats and kittens. The best part of doing a live program is things happen. And things happen straight up live. So I like to say I like to say pedigree. But Monica, you're worth.
I'm sorry.
Don't ever apologize to me for whatever Elon Musk is doing with the internets. I was just saying, like, people need to get to your website now and purchase before I convince you to raise your print prices from 25 to 35. And when I say pedigree, I don't mean, okay, like you're a dog or whatever. I just mean you come from good stock and you're talented. You happy now, Shannon? You know what I mean? Like, I feel that you're maybe I know the balance between I need to make that money, but I feel like with who you are, the quality of your art and what you bring to the table, we should be talking $35 a print. That's all I'm going to say.
So, my original paintings do go for quite a bit. And every time they go in a gallery, the price does go up a little bit, but that's one price point.
Okay.
My print price point, that's for another, somebody who can, buy a couple and feel comfortable with their finances. And then I also have postcards and stickers that are on the lower side of the price point. So, people who, can't really splurge that much and, they have families to feed, they can still get a little piece of me at a lower price point. So,
they can still just chomp off a chunk for discount price. Hey, I have things to feed too, but I will save my change. And I don't know. I know it's hard being that artist. But you really are something special to me. Now, you give talks, right? I saw something that you do speaking engagements.
Yeah, I do a few panels.
Do you cuss during those? And then
just this one.
you're good. I feel special now. And then what is it that you talk about and bring to the table? Is it kind of what we did, or do you get all stoic with how you smudge and channel the ancestors through your brushes?
So for the most part, it's a little mixture of different things. I talk about the art. I talk about my art journey in education. I talk about, storytelling through my art. I've done a few things. And basically, for the most part, no matter what the subject is, it's usually ties into what I just, explained to you guys
Yeah.
today. So my journey comes from different aspects and it molds to all these things that people want me to speak about. I've even spoke at Comic-Con for like a brief couple minutes, but I was just talking about my art journey, and you know, it 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 doesn't matter what the subject is, it always ties back. Like it's all full circle.
Well, you've been through a lot and you know a lot and you're talented, but you're also able to articulate those things running around your head. If people ask me for a speaking engagement, I don't. I just do the thing. Well, how do you do storytelling? How do you prepare for radio? I show up on time. Like I don't. I stalked your Instagram a little bit, but I don't go into anything with the assumption that, oh, I know, I understand her. No, I don't. I don't know shit. It's your job to tell us. So, are you available for speaking engagements? Like, is it an all age thing or is it more of like a collegiate level?
No, anything.
I'm trying to get you jobs, is my point.
Yeah, if anybody wants to hit me up for speaking engagements, my email is always on my website. My Instagram is also open in the DMs. I'll even check the little folder that goes to spam and stuff once in a while. But anything, like I can speak about like my journey as being a reconnecting native. I can talk about my journey as how I relate that to art, and like there's so many things that we can talk about as native people and our talents, that the possibilities are endless. So if anybody wants me to come speak to them, their school, their organization, I even spoke at like a small local church the other day for their little Thanksgiving celebration. But I was able to educate them. I was able to put my perspective. You know, everything is endless possibilities. You know.
Well, I really do appreciate you being calm enough to educate because there's this like just underlying rage beneath me that I love and I cherish. Right? Like I can't
I get it
dismiss
too.
atrocities.
I get it too.
Right? So, and I also get a chip on my shoulder as well as a jingle bell. I also get a chip on my shoulder like it's not my fucking job to tell you why like what you're doing. Like
It is not.
because there's 8 billion people, right? And we're like a percent of that. So why is it my job to fix every idiot that
And I don't blame anybody who does not want to be that person. I do not blame them at all. But if I can take one person and kind of re-educate their mind, and then when they are in a public space and they're seeing something that's someone saying some racist bullshit, and then they'll do the same. They'll educate them. But I can't say that happens or not. I can just only assume and hope. But that's just one less person for me that is not going to. Well, what I'm more looking forward to is more allies. We need allies. We need
yes.
people to be on our front line so that we don't get hurt. But um, it's and like I said, we don't have to. It's just me personally, I do, and to a certain extent, because if they're an asshole, I'm gonna be asshole back.
Okay, good. Well, like you said, you match that energy. So if they're coming of a
Yes.
place of genuine curiosity and respect,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to meet that curiosity and respect.
Reciprocity. I'm all for it.
No, it's hard. It's hard out there. And two, especially where you come from, Southern California and Northern California have very different histories, right?
Yes.
With all those mountains in between Central Valley and when you kind of go into Southern California. So you, like you said, you have Arizona, New Mexico tribes, you had Mexico, and then you had the America part, their wars. So a lot of people don't know that. And again, they come assuming with what they've seen on the old Westerns and things like that. But how do how are just hands going to educate those intricate differences, or how is a picture of your hands going to teach people not to be an asshole? I'm putting a lot of pressure on these prints of yours.
I mean, there's certain symbols, that differentiate. Oh, I don't even want to try to attempt that word again. That separate, southern and northern tribes. They have different symbolisms that we do. There's like, if I was to look at something, I would say, oh yeah, that's definitely a Navajo, pattern. And then if I look at something here in California, and I can say, oh, that's definitely Northern California. And I use some of those symbols in my artwork. There's a basket cap painting that I did, and that's a painting of someone from the Hoopa Reservation.
Mm.
And you can definitely tell by the pattern on the basket that that's a Northern California basket cap. And a lot of people look at it and they know, but there's obviously going to be people who just don't know about the
I know.
diversity. The diversity of California is one of the most diverse states in all of the states of the diversity of Native Americans. And then you go to like the east and you go to the plains, and it's very similar throughout the whole plains area. But then you come to California, and 2 hours away from here, it's way different than it is, 2 hours south. And I love capturing that diversity. And a lot of I mean, people appreciate, the diversity that we do have in California, because that painting of the Northern California symbols was sold to somebody who's a Southern California Indian.
Oh,
And
interesting.
yeah, they know those symbols are not from Southern California, but they appreciate the diversity. And that painting alone has a story too, because up north, I learned that, the women, they have other people put their basket cap on their heads for them. And down here, the women can put their own on. And I thought that was so interesting, so that's why I have that specific painting. But because that tells a whole other story itself. But
I like
it's
how I
just,
just put all this on you. I'm like, listen, you
I
drew
mean,
somebody's thumb. How is this going to save the world, Monica? Hard
it
hitting.
it just I just wanted to show that we are not just this mold of one single image of a Native American. We are so much more than that. We are so vastly diverse. And
And we're modern now.
yes,
We
and I
shouldn't
show
be,
that.
yeah, we shouldn't be pigeonholed in these old stereotypical ways.
Yeah, and I show that. There's people with tattoos, and these tattoos are not, you know, not your basic tribal tattoos. No, they're modern tattoos. That it could be, somebody having a Medusa on their arm, or someone has a like a new age native with headphones on. You know, I've captured those images through someone's tattoos, and I'm not gonna just take them off because it doesn't fit my um
Narrative or
yeah,
preconceived.
what Native Americans should look like. No, these are what people look like nowadays. This is what, you know, their rings. They have diamond rings now. That not everybody's gonna wear turquoise. Um, Not everybody is going to wear bracelets that are beaded.
Well, and
Everybody,
traditionally, most of us didn't even wear shirts. Like our boobs were just
no.
feral and free
They're just
range.
spinning in the air. Gone in with the
So
wind and everything.
yes. So now, if you do portray a modern Choctaw woman, I'm stuck in a prairie dress up to my neck, down to my and an apron. So I struggle
And,
with the modern Choctaw stuff. It's
yeah,
so
and
we got
if I was to do a traditional Tongva woman, she'd be topless too. So
bingo. And boobs are every culture loves them.
Every culture does,
It's
yes.
probably the only thing that could unite the world. We had a comment, Monica's art is inspiring. We have some classrooms in NorCal who need to see your art. I'm going to agree. Well, you can go to Monica's website, the art of Monica Zavala.com.
Send me up there.
And yeah,
I'll gladly come.
you can contact through your website, right? Or do I need to type in all your email stuff?
No, there's a contact page in the website where you can do it. You can tell me anything. You can just give me compliments.
So I have a comment. Tyler, why didn't you put a duck emoji? Sometimes I really like having the support of my friends, but I also sometimes wish they would just support differently. First, no, I'm kidding. I love you guys. Now, the duck made me think once again, I'm not going to keep you forever. Don't worry. Like, I love you. And I want to do this again. I want to have you on my FM radio program at some point in the new year because I'm not done. That you can't cuss, but I'll try to control you the best I can.
I can control it.
I can't. So that's why I love doing this. No, I have like a file this thick. I've played songs that cuss. I don't even hear the cussing. Our Carlos Nakai, world-renowned stoic flute player, dropped the F-bomb live. I mean, it's really hard, especially when you don't hear it. So the duck, Tyler just sent the duck to show he's listening. Next time, my sweet Tyler, just say, I'm here listening. But bird songs. So I was sent, and I actually found them last night. I was sent Robert Levi 6 CDs of bird songs. And being NorCal and Choctaw, and I haven't even opened them. I was like, are these songs about birds or like sounds of birds? Or, I mean, I was totally wrong because when I interviewed him, these are creation stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you, like Tyler just sending a meaningless duck, why don't you just call him creation stories? Where does the bird song thing come from? Oh my God, I feel like such an idiot right now.
Well, even like my people, like we don't really do bird songs either. Bird songs, to me being where I live right on the border of Riverside County and San Diego County. Bird songs are um, very important to the people of those territories. And, even the bird dancing, the women, they sway from left to right and kind of do like this hop, sort of like a bird. The birds hop around and everything. And um, so the bird songs, bird dance, it's to mimic what I know is the dancing mimics the birds.
Okay. It's like hula in a way, like it's the dance is telling a story.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And 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 every tribe is a little different with their bird songs, um, and how they sing them. And some are social, some songs are funerary, um, some are, there's songs that you can't even record. Um, and then there's gatherings, and there's a lot of bird songs and bird dance, and then it goes all night. People can be you know, from the sundown to the next day when the sun comes back up, and they can sing and not repeat a song. And I think it's very beautiful, and I love that. And I know my tribe where we're starting to retrieve more of our songs and um, from you know what our last recording of the last fluent speaker, um, but a lot of it's lost. But what's so important about bird singing is they were able to hold on to that despite everything that happened. But
Right, because there was missions, there was enslavement, there was just straight murder, there was death by disease, there was like I feel that everything that we have left that we know is so freaking incredibly precious. That's why I
yes,
love doing native media because I get to celebrate and showcase all these survivors that are badass like you.
And we are still here, and we're not going anywhere. And in fact, we're just, we're rebuilding. It's like when you're playing Tetris, and you get all those blocks, and they go up, and then that one piece just goes in there and just wipes everything almost out, and then you're still building up, and you just gotta keep going. And
I love
they better
Tetris.
not put another. They better not put another little Tetris piece in there to wipe us out again, because I think we're stronger in numbers right now. So
Well, and the justifications, like the doctrine of discovery and the reasons why they could excuse themselves for decimating us, those excuses don't hold anymore. Now, I'm gonna let you go in a minute, but so I do media, I do radio, I do some light documentary work. There's something awesome about who we are and what we experience that isn't on the internet, that isn't photographed, right? That isn't recorded, that isn't talked about in a public sphere. I love that, but I also understand the need of documenting these things and reminding people we're there and such. So I know what to not film and record. Is
mhm.
there anything in your artwork that is kind of an off limit? I'll never paint this, or I'll never paint something I experienced at a bird dance. Do you know what I mean? Like, is there stuff that you're never going to put on the table? Or is art different, or is
um,
painting different than a literal camera or audio recorder? You see what I mean? Help
yeah,
me. Help me help you.
I haven't come across anything yet. Of course, there's certain ceremonial items that you know are sacred to some tribes, and a lot of these things that I do paint, I always ask permission. I always
Okay.
I get the permission from the person. There was even a time when I wanted to paint somebody, like putting their hand on a tamal, which is a chumash boat, plank boat. And they were like, "Well, this ain't my boat. It's the owner, like the caretaker of this boat. I don't think he would love that you paint that, but you can paint, which I have a painting of him holding a tishle, which is the oar of the boat. And there's that's why you ask. If you won't know if you don't ask. And you know, some things are more sensitive, and I don't know because I'm not from the Chumash um, com- community, so I didn't know, but I asked, and now I know. Some things are more sacred than others, and I don't. Like I said, we are so diverse, and I paint people from all over. So asking is just key.
But asking
So
in a respectful way, not a demanding
yeah,
way, or I'm
yeah,
entitled to this, or
and I'll ask. I was like, "Is would this be okay?"
yeah.
And I painted a picture of people playing peon. Like I don't know all the rules to peon. We have there's a lot of tribes all over the states that have their own version of peon. They call it stick game, or there's different variations of it. But like I don't know like all the rules to it because I don't really play it myself. But I watch it, and I have to ask questions. I was like, does this make sense? What I'm painting, like this hand
Mm.
movement, this gesture, this they're putting up two fingers for this. Does that make sense? Like I actually get a little bit of education myself every time I do like something like that I don't really know everything of.
Well, I'm asking this because we are pre-elders, we're junior elders,
Yeah,
and future artists, our future kids, you're gonna want to be able to articulate and teach not ancient protocol, but a protocol of this is how you ask, this is what you ask. You're not running off with the photograph and your own interpretation. You're still being guided through this process. So it's not an
yeah,
ego incorrect assumption on your end either. So there's like a lot of
yeah,
weird responsibility in each of your prints. That's insane.
yeah.
That's
I
heavy.
yeah, you really just have to have that respect and reciprocity, and the not like, if you're not so sure, you gotta be knowledgeable yourself. So you kind of gotta get that education. The education that I put out is what I know. The education I ask for is what they know. So
That's
I don't
so
know everything.
beautiful. That's
I'm
that's so
gonna
lovely.
put that on a t-shirt.
No, you should. And I just like the you match the energy because I gotta work more on that. I just come out like rabid dog. Like what? What do you want? Why are you even asking me anything? You should know this. Your government failed you in education. Go buy a book. That's
Oh man.
well, and also I've been hurt. So in high school, my junior year, I read Howard Zinn's People's History of the United States and went to class the next morning and took over the class and told some truths. And then I got expelled. So my my feelings have been hurt for decades in my attempts to educate with some truths. So I admire you for doing it. I respect you for being super cool about it. And who knew that just drawing hands had this whole tsunami of things behind it? I feel like a total asshole for picking on you as much as I did when we were in person when I first met you. I was like, yeah, whatever, go get yourself some Sharpies. Um, and I knew you were something special and awesome, but I didn't realize like how much incredible just awesomeness is just kind of crammed in there with you.
Make my head big, man.
No, you're the good shit. You're the real deal. So
Thank you. Thank you.
your website is up and running. People can contact you through that. Is there anything that you want to add while you have this platform? And girl, I will slap you on whatever radio waves they allow me to be on anytime you want to talk. But is it too late for Christmas if people order today?
No, I can definitely get some orders out today and tomorrow, and they would probably get there on time. Um, if you're in California, you will get it on time. If you're out of California, I would say you will get it on time, but it might cut close, just depending on how backed up the UPS is. I ship
And
through
then
UPS.
here's another thing. Do you ship internationally?
Internationally, on my website, I don't think I have it set to internationally yet. I would have to research a
Well,
little
I'm
bit
just
more.
thinking, what if somebody wanted to send their grandma your tortilla hands? You know what I mean? And they're still in Mexico. I'm just, I'm thinking for other people for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna research a little bit more, and probably in the
Okay.
beginning of next year, I
Well, and
will.
again, the fancy dancer that happens in Canada. What if it reminded
Canada.
them of somebody's like cousin and they wanted to send it to Canada for them Six
I
Nations?
think my website is set for U.S. and Canada, so I will double check that. And for any other country outside of Turtle Island, I will do more research on how the posting prices vary, because right now everything is free shipping. But if it goes international like that, I would have to do a little research. So free shipping for everybody right
But
now.
people can ask you all their questions. I don't have to anxious have thoughts for
Hmm.
these future pending customers. I'll let you handle it. It's trying to help you.
No, you're
So,
good. You're
do you do custom orders? Let's say I send you pictures of my hands petting my cat.
good. So I will announce on my Instagram, if you're ever on Instagram and you see me put an announcement saying I have an opening for, I would probably only do 2 commissions at a time, only because I don't want to make the people wait as long, because these paintings do take anywhere from 14 to 24,
Jeez.
25 hours. Yeah. And I can't sit there all at once, so I do them in spurts. But they do take some time. So I will announce when I do take commissions, and expect it to be delivered in probably a little less than a month, but within a month.
That's so exciting. So I'm going to post your website again. So Instagram and your website are the best way to not just connect with you now, but keep updated on you in the future.
Yes.
And then schools, educational institutions that want to hire you can also go through your website.
Yes. They can
And
go.
that is,
They can hit me up on Instagram too. I will check that little folder that goes to the other.
yeah, but Instagram feels so like, and I know the kids do it now, but it feels so it bugged me that we DM'd about all this. Like, I was like, here's my text, here's my email, like, do anything to just not, because but I know the kids do it. So
Yeah.
I'll let them, it just, because then other stuff comes in through DMs and aren't necessarily work related. And
I actually okay. So now I'm a full-time artist. I no longer work for the place I was working at, and so that email that
congratulations.
thank you. The email that I was using a lot for anything was linked to my job, and they completely went. So I'm like missing some very important emails in there.
So what do
But
we have? What do we have? Let me go to my
you have the correct email now.
MWAR studios at Gmail.
Yes. Moir stands for moon in my Tongva language. So Moon Studios. Yeah.
I gotta get
Moir.
yeah. So I'm just when everybody and people can bug me whenever or bug the association on American Indian Affairs. They can bug them to bug me to bug you too. We're all in this together.
We are.
Monica Zavala, you fucking rock. And I legit am like a super fan, but I'll play it cool. But I'm not. Like I'm literally like, what dog sweaters can I not buy to get some of your print? That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at emotionally. Thank you so much for being part of this program. And I'm not done with you. So you're going to have to block me or you're going to have to give me your cell number and let's get out of these DMs. I'd like to move on forward with our relationship is what I'm asking. She's
Of
not
course.
ready. You guys, she's not ready. The look on her face is terror. No, I'm good. I mean, I'll court you a little bit longer, but at some point, if I don't get a ding ding from a text, I'm gonna cry a little bit.
I will gladly send you my number.
All right, girl. Well, thank you so much, and we'll talk at you later.
All right, sounds good.
That was fun. That was so good. All right, so we're gonna take a quick breath. I'm going to play a little promo and we'll wrap up the program. So remember that this will live forever on all podcast forums. And yeah, get to that website. See if you can get some last minute little right now too affordable gifts out.
The association is a 501c3 that does not take any federal funds. We are powered by the generosity of our members and donors. If programming like Red Hoop Talk matters to you, please consider donating or becoming a member today. Every contribution, no matter the size, helps us continue our mission. You can make a one-time gift or set up reoccurring contributions. We even accept stocks and cryptocurrency. An association membership is just $25 annually or $500 for a lifetime membership. Membership is open to anyone who supports our vision and goals. Donate or become a member today by visiting indian-affairs.org, and together we can make a difference for Native country.
So together we will make a difference in Native country. So I'm trying to think, is there any other business I need to do? And we just don't have time. So thank you again, Monica Zavala. Check out our Instagram, check out our website. Next month in the new year, we start off the new year with gold medal Olympian Billy Mills, who I'll be seeing this weekend. And I look forward to that because, like with Monica, I got to here's some of my anxieties, right? Here's why art is scary. And with Billy, yes, he won a gold, but I want to talk about the times he didn't win and how to keep trying to win when you feel like you lose a lot. So we're going to get in there. So Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year. I can't wait to see what next year brings for this Red Hoop Talk, and what an honor and a privilege it's been to finish up this year being your hostess. All right. Well, until next week when we hop. Oh, let's say hi to some comments. So we had some hoorays, great promo. We have people that need our art in the class. Tyler, thank you again for contributing nothing relevant to the comments. And what's sad is you're like my best friend. So maybe Monica will be now, Tyler. Maybe Monica will be. So I'm clicking over and over again to find this. All right. So until we hop back in the hoop, I'm Jennifer Robin, Red Hoop Talk. Look for this across all podcast streaming platforms.